back again with another video, and this is for Retro Bucko. He wanted me to review and talk about a couple of Dario Argento movies, Suspiria and Phenomena. Now, what I'm gonna do for this video here is give you my first impressions, because both films were experiences, especially in regards to Suspiria. Like, that was the first time for me watching anything by Dario Argento. And Dario Argento is a guy that I have heard about through, YouTube, and I know people have asked about, have you seen anything by Dario Argento and what have you, and before watching Suspiria, I had not seen anything by this director. And overall, I would say Suspiria is a good movie. It's a good horror film from the 70s. And after watching it, I felt that it's a film that, for me, I would like to go back and revisit down the road and give you a better review, because I think in order for me to fully digest the style, it requires another viewing. And that way I can give you a better review, again, down the road at some point. I wanted to more so give you my first impressions, which is why for this video here I'm going to talk about both movies. But the plot real quick for Suspiria. So you have this young girl, American girl, this dancer that travels to Europe, to a ballet school, but soon enough she hears strange noises and is troubled by bizarre occurrences, and she eventually discovers that the school is merely a front for something more sinister. And there's a sinister organization that's happening that is within the school. But yeah, I mean, even from jump, what really stood out again was the style. Dario Argento is known for his use of colors, certain shots, visuals, and in the case of Suspiria, the architecture, within the movie, and the architecture that he used for Suspiria, when it comes to the ballet school. A lot of great production design that really, I kept thinking about the movie after watching it. I'm like, yes, this is a film that, for me, I would like to go back and rewatch it again, because for one, it's an experience, and I think for me it was a lot to digest, and I felt like again I would like to go back and revisit, because I don't know if I could give you the best review, but overall I would say it's a good movie. It's a good horror film, and yeah, I think if you're going to check out anything by Dario Argento, start off with Suspiria. But the cast, the cast was fine. The acting, I thought was okay. For me, what really I think stood out the most from the movie, was the style. It was the colors, the use of certain shots, visuals, the score, I believe by Zombie. Zombie provided the score. I really enjoyed the score, the architecture, the production design. So yeah, Suspiria. If you were to ask me, what would I give it out of 5 stars? I would say 4. So yeah, again, sort of my initial reaction to the film. Again, I did like the movie. So that's my thoughts on Suspiria. Now, talking about Phenomena, which came out in 1985. And this one you have Jennifer Connelly. You also have Donald Pleasance in the film. Now, the plot to this one real quick. So it focuses on a young girl played by Jennifer Connelly. And she goes to this remote Swiss boarding school, and she discovers she has psychic powers that allow her to communicate with insects, and she uses them. She uses these powers to pursue a serial killer who's butchering young women at the school. And Donald Pleasance, he plays this character in the film that studies insects, and his character's in a wheelchair. And overall phenomena, I quite liked. Now, if you were to ask me at this moment, if I had to choose between Suspiria and Phenomena, I would say I liked Phenomena a little bit more. Now, Suspiria, in terms of the blood factor, definitely tops Phenomena because, Suspiria is more in your face. It's more use of blood, and I that's the best way to put it. Suspiria is more in your face, and Phenomena felt a little bit more grounded, if you will, because I thought the plot was a little bit more straightforward, or for me, I thought the actors here in Phenomena were a little bit better. I like Jennifer Connelly, I like Donald Pleasance, and maybe that's kind of why I prefer Phenomena a little bit more. And I mean, some people might feel different. I mean, some people out there might prefer Suspiria over Phenomena. But this is only, these are, hit at my desk, but these are the only two films by Dario Argento that I've seen as of right now, up until this point. So I'm just kind of giving you my initial, again, reaction. But Phenomena, I just felt that it just felt a little bit more grounded in terms of story, in terms of the plot, execution. But, the cast in this film, again, Jennifer Connelly, I didn't mind her in the movie. Donald Pleasance, I thought he was good support. I mean, obviously, of course, Donald Pleasance, I prefer him in other movies, like the Halloween movies, Fantastic Voyage, and so much more. But he's not bad. In fact, in the movie, for those who have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about, but in the film, he has a chimpanzee for a servant. So, in the film, you see this chimpanzee, and I forgot the name of the chimp, but, he's like, doing stuff for Donald Pleasance's character, pushing him around, answering the door, and it's a very well acted chimp. Really the chimp, and especially when you get to the end of the movie, the chimpanzee is the movie's MVP. And I don't want to give away as to why, or, talk about certain scenes and what have you. But by the end of the film, the movie's MVP is a chimp. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's a very well acted chimp. Definitely, when you talk about, animals on the screen, like I've never seen a chimpanzee, that can actually, act this well. I thought it was well trained, for being kind of a prominent character. But yeah, the movie's MVP was the chimpanzee. But yeah, I mean, Jennifer Connelly, Donald Pleasance, for me, I think it really helps that you have two actors in there that I recognize. The story I didn't mind. I thought there were some really cool scenes, especially in terms of the insects and these, using certain insects for different scenes. The score I thought was fun. I mean, you even get some music in there from Iron Maiden. Yeah, in a horror film like this, you get some music from Iron Maiden. Now, I mean, it's fair to question if, maybe, there's certain scenes that maybe it didn't really fit with the tone of the movie. But I do like Iron Maiden. I mean, it was cool to hear their music in the film, but I can understand if maybe, Iron Maiden was kind of like a clash of the tone, or maybe it didn't really fit the movie. It fits for something a little bit more different, or a different type of horror movie. But Dario Argento. But I still like Iron Maiden. The pacing didn't bother me. The locations I thought were cool. Especially in that kind of a Swiss look. Swiss Swiss location, Switzerland. Beautiful country. And overall, like I said, phenomena. I would, if out of 5 stars, I would give it probably, I would give it 4. About the same as Suspiria. But yeah, I mean, like I said, for now, if I had to pick between the two, I would say I liked Phenomena a little bit more. And there's other Dario Argento movies out there that, at some point I'll check out. But nothing else has been requested. But yeah. So those are my first impressions of both Suspiria and Phenomena. And I know, these weren't much of reviews. But again, both films were experiences, more so. And both films I would like to go back and revisit at some point and give you a better review for Retro Bucko and for people out there. Because, again, Suspiria was definitely an experience. I watched it the other week. Last week I got a little bit busy. I had a family coming in from out of town, so I didn't have a lot of time to do videos. But, from what I remember, again, Suspiria I thought was good. Phenomena I thought, was good, and I would probably prefer that a little bit more because where I felt, Suspiria was more in your face, more intense, and I can understand people if they prefer Suspiria more because of those factors, and I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think that Phenomenon for me, it felt a little bit more grounded. I think for me, you had better actors. I thought, the idea of the plot, I thought was a little bit more fun. There's certain scenes that I remember now, for example, where Jennifer Connelly's character, and I thought it was, there's a scene that she falls into like this pit of like, I don't know what I would describe it as, like, I don't want to go too much into the movie, but there's a scene where she's pushed into this like pit of like human mashed potatoes, or it's like a pit of human sludge, and the flies are in there, and like decomposition, like a pit of human decomposition, and it's just so gross looking. I started to gag a little bit, but I mean that's just one scene from the movie. But yeah, so for people out there, I hope you enjoyed this little video. And for Retro Bucko, thank you again for the request. So yeah, I would say go check out these movies. So yeah. But anyways, thank you for watching, and have a good day.